We are live. What are
Trump
you looking at?
assassination memes.
Trump assassination memes. Assassination memes. That's what we're talking today.
Assassination.
Talking about today. Jeez, what an intro.
Failed assassination. Sorry.
Yeah, Trump failed. Yeah. He's not dead. Yeah, he's not dead. He's still here.
Would be attempted
assassination. So
any of
he got
those.
shot. He's basically Ronald Reagan now, brothers.
So hold on. Somebody was saying to me that the bleeding from his ear wasn't even from a bullet. It was like shrapnel from the bullets hitting something else around him.
No, it was in fact. So yeah, for those of you who don't know yesterday, which should be every single one of you people. The bullet did hit his ear. What a lot of people were confused about, so there's the two ballistic glass panels, like on either side of the podium. And then there was also the podium itself, and like the American flag or something was like reinforced steel or something like that. Anti-ballistic steel. Or ballistic steel, whatever. AR-500, just as good, brother. but no, the chunk missing out of his ear was from the bullet directly.
Sick.
There is I guess we'll go ahead and get some pictures up. We're gonna do a lot today. We're gonna watch the video. We're gonna look at some pictures that we had. They're not. They've kind of been released to the primary media now, but we had some pictures from other intelligence sources that we'd gotten and kind of we're looking at early before everyone else had them. We'll share everything with you guys. Let's just do a quick Google here. Trump shot. We're just gonna start looking at random things here. All right, here we go. Switch over to. Yep, he's got a chunk missing out of his ear. Can we view a new tab?
The Trump shot is gonna be Kentucky bourbon with a piece of cauliflower and hot sauce.
And it's going to be worth a small loan of $1 million.
A small loan of $1 million.
So yeah, the bullet hit his ear. It's kind of hard to tell exactly if it looks like it grazed his face here. It almost looks like it kind of nicked his lip and then kind of his cheek there and kept going to his ear. I don't know what of that.
Is that not just blood?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know if that's just blood, but where did the blood come from on his face? Like something got nicked on his face.
Well,
it didn't run from his ear down there. I just don't know where
he got hit in the ear, and you can see him do this, and then he hits the floor. So I'm guessing blood kind of ran down his face while he was huddled underneath.
Oh, here, y'all can't see the. I forgot, y'all can't see the picture that I'm screen 3. Did I show the right screen? What's happening?
I don't know. The stream ended.
Yeah. Stream 3. There we go.
Yeah.
So, like, here's his ear. Like, obviously... obviously missing a chunk. And then there's a kind of pool of blood here and then on his lower lip. But... like this blood, there is no blood here next to his ear. So did it come from his ear, like run down his face? I don't get that. That's possible. Wait, how would it drip?
Because he hit the floor, like he got shot.
Wasn't necessarily used. We just have the assumption
touched his face, and then hit the floor like aggressively trying to get down and not get shot. So yeah. I'm guessing it came off of his ear and hit his face like this.
Okay, it's possible.
I don't think it doesn't look like there's any kind of wound to the lip or anything like that.
Because like to me that looks like an almost perfectly straight line here.
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
And that makes sense. I mean, I'm not a blood splatter analyst, but things generally fall in a straight line.
I was looking to see if we could see anything in the reflection of this guy's glasses. What do we see here? So
Just
yeah,
legs.
this is what we're gonna be talking about today. Why won't it not go full screen? Yeah. So I guess to do some introductions, I'm Jamie. I run Ohana Arms. I'm a combat vet. Spent almost 9 months in Ukraine. Six or so of those were on the front lines, in the trenches fighting. I teach people to shoot. Teach basic infantry tactics. And I love, LARPing as some hardcore operator into airsoft. So, and I get all of my gear from Opera 808 or Supply.
Hey, that's me.
Wow, perfect segue into your introduction.
It's almost like you planned that or something. That was weird.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, what's up? I'm Ian. I run Operator Supply. I'm just a, good old homegrown autistic LARPer. I have no real world experience to validate my choice of special interest. So
Special
you know.
interest.
Take my opinion for what it's worth, which is absolutely nothing.
He's good though. He's fine.
He is. And I am. Zach.
Pause the game. Pause the game.
Nope. I'm just.
You got chocolate chips on your head, bud. That's what it looks like, at least. I don't know. Is it?
No, it's
You're very small.
Is that three
Yeah.
three color?
It's Arid. Multicam Arid.
Oh, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think you are? Some kind
Oh,
of
I see
seventh
it.
group guy?
It's Task Force 69.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Thanks, Daddy
Yeah.
Thumb.
Exactly. And it's tore up from working in it all the time and shit. I'm Zach. I pretty much am just the one of the other. I'm an actual autist that they keep in for diversity reasons, and so we can get that.
No,
back.
Traven's our diversity hire.
He is one. The more we have, the better tax write-offs we got.
Oh yeah, tax write. Yeah, yep.
I have little to no real-world experience. The only real-world experience I can say is that I've fought back-to-back HOA wars. With a couple of yard pops here and there. Keeping property values low is my game.
Keep the rent low.
Yeah. So, because the housing market with BlackRock and all that, like, how else are you supposed to do it? So.
Speaking of BlackRock.
Oh.
Okay, so
please tell me you guys
video.
saw that.
So you sent that video.
Yes.
I watched it and I was like, I don't get it. I literally texted you. I was like, I'm confused.
You don't get it?
And then I was scrolling through Instagram or something again, and it explained it. I was like, oh!
Yeah.
So yeah, I understand.
Allegedly, the attempted assassin appeared in a BlackRock commercial that was shot at his high school last year.
Oof.
Yeah. Let's see. Can we bring that up?
Do we know if that's actually
Who's streaming right now?
I'm working on it. I'm already on it.
Do we know if that was matter of factly him? I just feel like that was.
Well, don't say it was like he just coincidentally looks like him. It looks just like him.
It really looks like him, and the commercial was allegedly shot at his high school that he went to. So.
I'm looking for it. Wait,
that's a couple too many coincidences, I think.
I just almost doxed a whole bunch of people. Instagram.
That would have been awesome.
That would have been abort.
Shut it down! Shut it down!
Stop it! Can I not just open this in a new tab? So the issue is it pulls it up, but it's in the center of my screen, and the rest of the screen's transparent. So.
Yeah, you're doxing people right now.
No, that's just for you.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's just you. I have 3 monitors now, guys, so I can actually like see everything instead of trying to alt tab and like accidentally show things in the alt tab screen.
Can you not copy the link and open it in a new window?
No, that's not how Instagram's working. So I'm gonna try to find it on YouTube. When I do that, it still shows like my DMs and stuff in the background, and it won't let me just open it by itself because that just may. Oh wait, maybe hold on. I can maybe just view it directly from.
That's what I was saying.
Blue Jean. Yeah,
go
here we
straight
go.
to the post and copy the link. Yeah.
Special
There's
place
no
to come
video
to
controls.
school and
Okay, y'all can hear it now. Let me display capture. Let's go. All right, Blue Jean operator video here. Okay.
I hope when I retire someday, they say that guy made this place a
you
special
can
place
never
to come
afford
to
it.
Oh,
Oh, look who
dude,
it is!
pause in time.
school and
Oh, there
Look
you
at
go.
it.
I can pause on
It's
time.
It's our boy.
Let's see if I can
I
actually
hope
pause
when
on
I
time.
retire someday, they say that guy made this
Wait for it.
place a special place to.
And there we go.
No,
There we
boy,
go.
brother. Is it him? We don't know, but it looks like him.
Made this a special place to come to school. Oh, man.
I don't know what to say. Is it him? We don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it sure does look like him.
It looks like our guy a couple years ago.
Yeah,
Oh, that last year, actually.
I guess the audience technically might not know what he looks like, so let's find that. What's his name? Matthew, no. Yeah.
Thomas Matthew Crooks.
Why is it only showing me like?
Oh, you can't find the good photo.
I have those. Don't worry. We'll get to those in a few minutes. Where are like the good pictures?
That wasn't bad. That would have not been a bad one to use.
Oh hell, where'd it go?
That looks relatively recent. He graduated
that's
in
his graduation
2022.
picture. So this is 2 years ago. Where did it go? Oh, here it is. So this is New York Post. Take that as you will. But this is the real picture.
Yeah.
This is him graduating high school. And then this is him dead on a roof. Sorry. He got dumpstered. He got killed on the roof. And oh, here he is.
Wait, there you go. Wait, go back. Yeah. That's
Here
the
he
one
is
you
wearing
want,
a
'cause you got almost
Demolition
the same
Ranch
profile.
t-shirt.
Hold on, go back to the video you have paused.
Oh.
You got almost the same profile
Oh, yeah,
there.
yeah.
I don't know. It's pretty similar, but I don't know if it's the same.
The chin's the same.
What is a year of
Glasses.
being a paranoid shut-in due to a person?
Yeah, the whole COVIDs. It could definitely be him. Google enhance.
Enhance.
AI, is this the same person? Here's some other pictures of him. Yeah, I mean, obviously. There's a lot. I don't know times on these. Like, obviously, that's not him as a senior in high school.
That's, yeah.
It is kind of upsetting. I'm not gonna lie. Like, the dude was obviously, like, the dude killed people. However, I feel like it's kind of wrong to use like his child yearbook pictures to be like, this is Trump's killer. Sorry, just putting that out there. Like,
I don't know.
That's not Trump's killer. That's some kid, like 13-year-old kid wearing an American flag shirt.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's not Trump's killer.
Like
This is
at the time, but I don't know.
Yep.
It's like showing Hitler as a baby and being like, "This is what murdered the Jews." And it's
those are two probably very different people. And I feel like that's not the coolest thing to do. But I mean, look at our media. So let's go ahead and take a minute to watch the video. I already have it pulled up here. This is so this was live on the news. Like, I mean, this is the live Fox News clip. Actually, this is the breaking. So this was not live, but this from this camera was the live feed. And before we start the video, I made a post on this already. I don't know why I thought this is the most hilarious thing right after we were watching it originally is the "you're fired" signs, like right behind him. I thought that was funny. So anyway, let's watch it here. We should have audio.
Oh, that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old, and if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
So, just right there. So, let's do a bit of time stamping here. So, where's stats for nerds?
Stats for nerds. That's us.
Is stats for nerds not in settings anymore? How do you turn stats for nerds on? Panic. Hold, please. We're gonna jump back to us for a minute. I want to see the exact.
I sent the other video into the Discord chat as well.
Oh, thanks.
The POV from the crowd watching the shooter.
Okay, perfect. And then I also wanted to grab. I need to find it though. The video of the counter sniper team on the roof.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't mind looking for that, I might have it saved somewhere, but I'll have to dig through it also. Where are stats for nerds now?
I think if you right click on the video.
Oh.
Maybe.
Nope.
Stats. Yeah, right there. It was on the bottom.
Oh, wait, was it?
Go back to it.
Oh, it was. Sorry, guys. All right, back to the video. So, what this allows us to do is actually see. Oh wait, does it not show us the frame that we're on? Okay, we'll see if we can. So,
Oh, that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old, and if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
So almost exactly at the 8-second mark is when the shots initially happen.
Which was allegedly, I think, 3:23 p.m. or something like that. Exactly on the dot was when they reported the shots fired.
Okay. So 3:23.
Yeah, someone did a workup on all the actual.
Okay. Yeah. That would be good to look at some point. So, almost exactly 8 seconds into this video, the initial shot is fired. You hear one shot and the either echo or the report of it. So,
if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
And then you hear the actual report, which told us exactly which was above. We had supersonic.
Yeah, there's like 8. I think it was like 8 shots there. And then
it was like I thought it was 6 because it was 3. It was 3 and then 3.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've heard 6, I've heard 8, I've heard 10, 11. I don't know if anyone actually knows how many rounds.
Take a look at what happened.
I thought he shot like 3 times and then a brief pause and then 3 more.
And, I think that
and then you could hear.
Was on the roof with them, and that's what caused them to
yeah.
fire.
and then you could hear the return shot after that.
Yep.
Okay, so all right.
And then
He shot a handful of shots.
Once he re-engaged,
Yeah.
the muzzle report started, or the muzzle gases and such. Because I don't know if there was actual flash, but that's when SS snipers picked up exactly on where he was on that
Right.
roof. Because
Mhm.
I sent it to the group chat in Instagram, but where they're at is almost equal level with where he was on the rooftop, and he would have been like a penny-sized fucking black dot over on that silhouette. And so they
Mhm.
didn't know if he was actually part of the roof, like like an exhaust or something, or if he actually was a shooter, because they couldn't see the
Gotcha.
rifle. That's why it took
Okay.
them a while to engage.
We'll pull that up in here in a few minutes.
Now the rumor
That's-
is that they already confirmed he was a threat well before,
Mhm.
but they were told ROE was not to engage until he shot.
Well, that's been now confirmed also, as far as they confirmed he was a threat. A cop, a local Leo, actually got up onto the ladder and started climbing on the roof, realized he had a gun, I guess engaged with him, interacted with him, and to some extent, the kid pointed the gun at him, and then the cop got down off the roof. And then he then turned to Trump and actually engaged Trump. I assume because he realized he was out of time at that point and panicked. But that has been confirmed now that is the storyline for that. So we had let's watch it one more time here. We'll probably watch it a few more times by the end of the video, by the end of the podcast day. So, so at 8 seconds is when the first shot happens. Bang. There's a burst of 3 there. Then 3 to 4 more. We're now at 20 seconds. At 23 seconds, there's a second shot. Well, not a second shot, but another shot. And I'm going to assume that was a shot of them taking him down.
Exactly.
So we'll go back a little bit more. Obviously, they're on top of him now. Bang. 23 seconds. So there was approximately, and we're not sitting here looking at, milliseconds in this video. I thought Stats for Nerds showed that, but it's not. So there's approximately, or almost exactly 15 seconds between the initial shot where he engaged and then the shot that I'm presuming was the Secret Service counter sniper engaging him, and from the sound of it, it was one and done. And there's no more shots after this. And then you can, if we go through a little bit further. Okay, I pass it.
Move! Go! One thing that I also know is that they were using 300 Win Mag.
Sorry, say again?
Yeah.
The snipers were using 300 Win Mag, if I'm not mistaken.
Possibly. I haven't seen that.
They were.
Bolt action.
Okay.
Yeah, their bolt action setup looks like a 300 Win Mag.
And we do know their optics. Those have already been. It was a Actar from Night Force. Is I think what I read. 7 to 35. I have not personally zoomed in any of these pictures and broken it down.
Hold on. I have the breakdown right here.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I mean, please continue, but I have it.
Okay. Hold on. Yeah. You can actually hear at some point right in here the mic at the podium is still live, it's still active, and you can actually hear specifically the Secret Service guys and their commands that they're giving. We'll listen to those real quick here. Right now we're 3 seconds before the Secret Service counter sniper shot. Right now, there it was. So let's take just a second to listen to the commands they're giving.
Move to spare. Hold. When you're ready, on you. Ready. Move.
Are you ready? On you. Move up.
Hawkeye's here. Hawkeye's here. Move to the spare. Spare, get ready. Spare, get ready. You ready? Are we good? Shooters down. Are we good to move?
Shooters down. So they were able to, I guess, in some way confirm whether it's get somebody else on the roof or have visual confirmation from a distance. You can hear the female I assume Secret Service agent, picking up on the mic, shooters down, and then you can hear what I assume to be the male team lead confirm shooters down.
Oh yeah, and this was a beat.
She goes shooters down, and then he reads it back, shooters down, and she verifies shooters down. So, and that's when that's when she goes, we're clear, let's move. These closed captions are, and then they get moved. Well, I was laughing too. Trump is sitting here, they're standing him up, and he goes, let me get my shoes. My shoes. Let me get my shoes.
So we're gonna move to
Let me get my shoes. His shoe. Get his shoe. Wait. And you can see the blood on his ear. So, yeah. All right. So yeah, just from that video, first shot took place 8 seconds in, and then approximately 15 seconds later, he was presumably downed. Ian, would you like to share the breakdown of their gear kit loadout?
It is, in fact, 300 Win Mag. It's their custom made for the Secret Service.
Yeah,
it's a Remington 700 long action and an Accuracy International chassis.
Nice.
That's pretty based.
Which is a great setup.
Yeah, and they had Night Force Attacker 5-25. Big ass
Is that
blast.
how you say it? Attacker? Have I always just said that wrong?
It's an attacker, but yeah, it's the whole point. It's supposed to spell out attacker.
Oops.
ATACR.
Oh, is there not a oh? Oh, okay, yeah. Well, English is hard. Okay. Now let's transition to. Let's see if I can find.
I was going to say, I want to point out, because a lot of people were saying that it was clearly staged and that, like, well, if someone got killed, why was no one really like freaking out? I'm pretty sure it's after the first volley and he goes down. You'll hear all of a sudden a woman have like a fucking blood curdling scream. That's when I think she realized the guy next to her was the guy that got hit in the head.
Yeah.
Yeah, that may very well be her. Yeah, there was. So I guess to also add to, there's so much to this that we're a bit scatterbrained on. We'll just kind of knowledge dump everything we know, though. Yeah, there was one civilian killed as of now. He got domed right in the side of the face, if I remember correctly. An ER, I believe, surgeon, an ER doc of some sort, tried to do CPR and not that it was his fault, but was unsuccessful.
That was a medical sergeant or something with SS or with the sheriff's department or something, because you'll see like there's state troopers or something with them. But there was someone that was rendering aid with a big ass backpack, and it was all OD green. So it was some kind of state person, I think.
Well, there was a civilian that tried to give aid immediately. He was sitting next to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was covered in blood. He was an ER doc of some sort, from my understanding. And not to, not his fault, but it was in fact unsuccessful.
Well,
there was also the guy was more than likely already dead.
Well, the way he described it, he already had brain matter elsewhere outside of his body. So.
Correct. the dude was more than likely already dead. But coming from a combat role myself, we have attempted CPR and resuscitation on what in hindsight was potentially a dead friend of ours. And we just could not, we weren't 100% sure if we could tell if he had a pulse or not. We're sitting there trying, and between our blood pumping and, the adrenaline going, we just couldn't confirm, and we attempted it anyway. We're not going to sit there and not try it. So yeah. He may very well have been dead before he tried CPR, but he did at least attempt it. There were also, if I remember from the press release, 2 other civilians. I'm kind of just using that loosely here. Secret Service or bystanders. There we go. Also wounded. At first the report was only 1, but then another official report I read was 2. So I'm not 100% certain, but I believe it was 2 others were wounded.
That's what I heard as well.
1 killed.
1 killed and 2
and then
injured.
Of course, former President Donald Trump. Obviously. So here's the counter sniper team that was on the roof behind Trump. I have a video clip of them. These 2 dudes are clowns. I'm calling it right now. You can completely say what you want to. There's a video angle of when the first shot happens. The sniper on the right literally like tucks his head and like ducks behind the cover of the roof. And then this guy on the left. First of all, these are the wrong optics for this situation. From my understanding, the most you could see is a few hundred meters away, tops. And these are 7 to 35 time zoom optics. The dude was honestly like even the lowest optic setting. Was it 525? Or
5 to 25, yeah.
Okay, 525. So I guess maybe that's a little bit better. I had read 7 to 35. That you'll actually see the guy trying to find him in his scope. Because he's zoomed in so much, he's actually having trouble finding somebody 125 meters away. But when he's doing like this, like he's down on his rifle, you can see him like scanning, and then he looks up off of his scope, and I assume that's when he identifies the target, and then he like jumps back down in kind of a quick panic and actually hits the bill of his cap on his scope, and the tripod like starts teetering. It's also a very not stable tripod setup. It's not, I mean, the worst I've seen. Like these guys just honestly seemed like they don't have quite the right tools for the job here. Let's zoom in a little bit more here. These are in fact Secret Service. I was taking that kind of for granted. I assumed that, but police, Secret Service. Wait, can we see his name? Is his name on this? Surely not.
I can't. But it just says Secret Service underneath, and I think the other one might be.
I can't tell it's on the top. Surely the Secret Service don't have their names on them. That has usually not been a thing in the past. A lot of times, depending on in what capacity they're operating, they'll actually have face coverings on.
Enhance.
No, yeah, zoom back in. Zoom back in. We'll probably be able to read it.
I don't think so.
Wait.
It looks like the same exact letters as Secret Service. I think it's just Secret Service, but smaller on top.
I might be able to find a better picture somewhere. Wait, is that a Vortex cap that he has on? It kind of looks like the Vortex logo. Oakley sunglasses.
Upside down.
Upside down on the hat.
It's probably... Maybe they stay out of the way better. That's probably like a nice little trick. I would know because I have actual fucking spectacles. So I can't just be like, all right, I'm going to hit this fucker from 800 yards. I'm like, can't do it.
So, yeah, I don't know exactly what's on the top. I highly doubt it's his name. What carrier is this? Is this JPC-1?
JPC, yeah.
I think is it a JPC-1? I think it is.
Yeah, it looks like it. Oh, no, there's the zipper right there. It's a 2.
Yeah,
I don't see the zipper, but I take your word.
On the right.
Right. Yeah. So it's black JPC. I mean, that's fine. Gold standard for low profile plate carriers. Well, low profile weight bearing, but I think JPCs are considered weight bearing. Not quite on the same level as an FCPC or an AVS, but still, I would consider them weight bearing nonetheless. Like we said, 300 Win Mag. What rangefinder laser device is that on the top? Is that a Raid X or is it something?
I think it's a Raid X. At Wilcox. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what that one is.
No, the Raid X is it's infrared
Maybe it's
laser
more
device.
slimmer. It's got a long ass fucking wire, so I'm assuming that's what that is probably a boat breeder.
It's not a Radex.
Yeah.
So it's probably just a laser rangefinder.
Yeah,
it is. Yeah.
Basic ASH.
Let's see.
But he's got a kill flash on it too.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah, but is that key mod? Or is that actually M-Lock?
Yeah, it looks like dick mod, honestly.
I don't think so. I think
I'm
it's
just not used to
M-Lock.
M-Lock like slots being like that close together, you know what I mean? And that tiny, let alone. Normally when they're that small, it's key mod.
I'm not 100% sure.
It might be neither, also.
And then also something to point out is both guys have identical setups. Which
when they're issued kit, so
yeah. On one hand, yes, it's issued kit. On the other hand, that does not strike me to be advantageous.
That's not a sniper team.
Both your guys on the roof identical kits. I'm not gonna sit here and say it's wrong. However, that's not how
seems
I
odd.
think that should be set up.
What would you recommend? A fucking LMG?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, one guy should have a sniper, and the other two just needs an M2 Browning.
And a possible shooter on the other rooftop.
Nah, bro.
Delete the rooftop.
No, he needs a fucking, what's it called? A Moss.
Yeah. Just an ATGM. He's just got like a javelin
Fucking
sitting on him.
Gustav gun.
But yeah, I don't know. I personally would not have, you know, and also I need all three of us for that matter. None of us have a background in specifically high risk like security or counter sniping. But
no.
we do have, you know, some experience with team building, and that's not how I even did marksmanship stuff in Ukraine, and that's not how I would build a counter sniping team, me personally. What's also interesting, if we look, they both have binos, they both, like, even down to their JPCs are almost oh wait, no, they're not identical. They're close, almost identical, but
the only difference is that homie on the right is wearing his sunglasses the right way up.
He also has a different earpiece, which I do find, that's where I was going with. That was interesting. The guy on the left here does not appear to have an earpiece.
Not wearing anything.
And what I would like to say is, to my understanding, he is the one that took the shot. And I would like to know if his lack of direct communication could have potentially caused the delay in target acquisition or firing that shot.
That's true. Relaying always takes an additional second.
Is that something that got... Hold on, stop scrolling for a second.
Yep, holding.
You see that white box over his rifle on the right?
Yeah, it's probably a range card.
Is that like a dope card, or is that something that got added to the image afterwards?
No, that did not get added before. It looks like so there's a sticker on the scope itself.
That's what I was looking at
on both of them up here. Those almost look like barcode stickers, like inventory stickers or something similar. Right. Which I find odd personally. But I'm pretty sure this one is a range card. Why it's there, I'm not entirely sure. Not sure. But yeah, my biggest kind of takeaway was the shooter that actually made the shot to take down the Trump shooter is not wearing a headset. And I've been in situations where specifically in combat situations where you don't have a radio, you're relaying information through someone else. And you know, that delay of them hearing it initially to you actually also now hearing it and, you know, being able to soak it in, that's a time delay while you're also trying to like focus on what you're doing. While potentially if he had that direct line in his ear, even if he doesn't even have to necessarily respond, but it takes his partner brain power to listen to what's going on and relay it to his buddy, while his buddy is now, thinking through all that, while then if they could both just listen at the same time. And we might have some like comments saying, oh, well, maybe he has on the right side. Highly unlikely, considered he's a right-handed shooter. Really all the time, as a right-handed shooter, you'll almost always have your mic on the left. Because when you go to shoulder your rifle, in fact, here, I'll show you. I have a left-handed pair of contacts here. Here's a pair of MSA Swordens with left-handed, so I'll take my headset off. And so the reason you'd have it on your left side is so when it's on your right side here, when you go to pick up your rifle, you're hitting your mic. It would be almost guaranteed that he does not have a mic on. I guess something's possible if you could have a throat mic, but I don't see any of the wiring or anything for that at all.
No, it doesn't look like it.
Oh, do we have? I don't have comments pulled up. Because we actually might have some comments in here for us. If someone else wants to talk for just a second.
He doesn't even have anywhere to put a radio.
I don't see anywhere. Okay, there we go. I got chat pulled up now.
Yeah, because how I've thought about it is like, what's the most important thing you want to do? You want to keep your right hand on your weapon, like, right? If you're in a combat environment. So then anything that's admin tasking, so whether it be me having a magazine in my hand, me diming a radio, whatever it might need to be, it needs to be left hand accessible. That's why push to talks are here for anybody that's right-handed. Otherwise, it's vice versa. If I'm using this hand to shoot, I can still keep that, that weapon either slung or shouldered, whatever I got to do. If I'm braced, I can still key up. Otherwise, oh, I want to go to reload, magazine right here, get it back in, whatever. Same thing for having the radio right accessible to, whether it be on my cummerbund or, belt, whatever. You can still access that. It doesn't make sense for him to try to run it on his fucking right side at all. And if he does, then maybe they have particular rule sets they like to go by, but it just doesn't make sense to me. You're more likely to always keep using this for this reason than using this for anything else.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Or if I have to get off of my weapon, all right, the one example otherwise would be if I had medical for IFAC for myself, I'm going to be bringing my weapon down anyways because now I'm changing my whole viewpoint. I'm not going for kills. I got to go for aid. If I'm rendering right side, that makes sense to me. Having it tucked right there on my right side so I can access that, I got to use my right hand for that shit anyways. You can't just one hand some fucking sutures or anything like that.
Oh, that's a little bit old, that joke.
Oh, sorry. I'm trying to find
that picture right there of them standing there. By the way, it's low res right now, but if you don't view over it, that the black outfitted cop, he's smiling. The guy in front of him is smiling because they're just looking down on him, and they're literally, you will see it.
Got you good, you fucker.
They're probably sitting there wondering, like, why the fuck did you even try that?
Why?
No,
I'm trying to find the
gun, bro. They're laughing at his gun for sure.
Okay, I think this is the video I'm looking for. Hold on before I switch over to it. So there's specifically the video of the two counter snipers being
rally for former President Donald
Trump. Can I say that?
Speaking building 4.
No, you can't.
Look what happened.
Okay, yeah, here we go. All right, switch over. Okay, so pay attention to. Hold, please. Okay, so to pay attention, top right, we have our two sniper. Oh, this isn't the exact video. This might not show it.
And look what happened to our country.
Yeah, here we go. So pay attention. Here's the two snipers.
Moments before the shooting,
no, it doesn't.
You can hear nearby spectators saying they see someone with a gun.
There you go.
At the same
Okay, here we go. Yeah. So, we have one. He's on his knees. You would kind of. There's no real name for that, like a high kneeling stance. I can't tell if he actually has two knees down or one knee in this picture. I would assume one knee. Looks like
he
his
might
left
have one knee
is
down, and his other one might be like on foot, but like hold to his chest. Because I've done that before.
The guy on the right is on both knees, like hunched into his rifle, almost like a kind of like a high fetal position. But I'm kind of surprised he stayed like that, because like that's a hard position to stay in. You really have to be like quite balanced, and because like you're tucked, your legs are completely under you. You're essentially sitting on your ankles.
That bitch, that'd be hurting my back looking at that shit.
Yeah, that hurts. I've done that before, and not for long periods, and that still hurts. So we're gonna watch this in half speed. So pay attention to the guy on the left. We'll watch it at least 2 or 3 times because I want to be sure that we can see what we're looking for. Pay attention to the guy on the left. When you can tell the moment he actually identifies the threat, and then or at least is immediately trying to get back onto a scope. And then pay attention to the guy on the right when that initial shot is fired.
Meantime, while Trump speaks.
Here, we'll watch it in full speed first, so we don't have to hear the terrible slow voice.
The Secret Service snipers can be seen facing the gunman's direction.
Oh, can you just play the video
on the roof? Pick his head up just before.
Oh yeah, there we go.
At 6:15.
I guess she's explaining it. All right.
Oh yeah, I saw him. He grabbed his gun and then it started to slide.
All right, we're just gonna watch it at wrong button. At half speed now.
That's subtitles.
Yeah, thank you. So we're gonna watch it at half speed. I'm just gonna turn the audio off. Yeah, we'll leave it on.
Secret Service snipers can be
watch him pick his head up.
Facing the gunman's direction.
He's probably trying to figure out exactly where he needs to be aiming at.
Agent on the roof.
Right here.
So watch him look up. Oh, he's down on his gun right now. He looks up to line up the shot, and then watch what happens when he puts his head back down. The bill of his hat smacks the top of the rifle, and it almost falls.
Service agents rush to pull Trump to
yeah, that's probably what also deviated that time a good bit too.
Out at 6:15.
Because I think he
right there.
That bipod almost gave up. That tripod almost it moved with the roof.
Yeah, exactly.
Because,
so
I mean, if you've ever been on those roofs before, like you're gonna fall off that 9 times out of 10.
They flex underneath you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they don't
so
just flex. It's that there's barely any traction.
It's like a wobble. Yeah.
Boots.
So his head's up right now. Watch the next like quarter of a second here. Head comes down. He hits the gun. The gun is still moving right now. He's trying to save the tripod and get it readjusted. Meanwhile, the absolute genius Giga Chad counter sniper. Bear in mind, the U.S. continues to brag about how the Secret Service is the world's premier security team. Watch what he does when the first shot happens. The guy on the right.
He lays down.
He lays down. What is the point of a counter sniper when the most valuable moments of the whole thing have all not? I mean, I guess technically they've already passed because the initial shot's been fired. But when it's the most important for you to be like, okay, where did those come from? I need to be immediately scanning. And the dude literally tucks his head in, sprawls his legs out, and lays down on the backside of the roof. Why?
Dog water.
Like you can see him continuing to sprawl his leg. Remember, he was basically sitting kind of in the fetal position, tucked into his gun, and now he's actively laying down. And you can actually see he's completely let go of his gun. If you look at the barrel here, it's going up into the air. He's resting it on the roof now.
Yeah.
He went from being aimed. See how the barrel's not quite flat, but flat.
You can tell it's in his control.
Yeah, it's in his shoulder, still in the shoulder, and you can see the moment look at the barrel rise. The gun is pointed straight up into the air now. He has no care in the world, no intention to find the active shooter. He's just trying to take cover himself. Absolutely ridiculous. I guarantee you that's not in their training manual as a counter sniper to be like, oh yeah, the high priority, very high value target that you're supposed to be protecting. Yeah, be sure to run away when you hear the gunshots. I hope this man has already rewritten his resume, and I hope he doesn't get a job anywhere. Because I wouldn't pay him to protect me after watching this. Like, I hope no one finds his name from this video. Like, no one figures out who he is for his sake. Because they're immediately going to be like, oh, who is Gavin, Marks? It's like, oh yeah, he's the Secret Service counter sniper that ran away from the gunshots in a time of need. And the guy on the left, it's hard to judge other people in situations like this because adrenaline's pumping.
I was going to say again, that bipod, or the tripod moved, it slid, so that tells me they didn't have a great traction up there anyways. I've worked on roofs like that before, and you'll lose your fucking footing. So I think that's what they were fighting as well, was they were staying stationary until they reacted to that fire, and then all of a sudden his tripod shifts because, that there's no traction up there, and then the other guy probably either tried to stop himself from sliding down or also reacted so much to the fire, he was just trying to get his head down, and then almost ended up probably falling off. But you will literally slide down those without stopping because there's just nothing to grab onto. It's sleek metal the whole way down. There's no rigidity at all, at least with certain roofing, like tar roofing or certain clay shingles. You have some traction, some format to keep yourself up on. Not sheet metal roofing, dude. You will literally just gone. That's crazy that was all they offered, and they weren't even like, hey, let's throw down some mats up here, like some rubber mats to hold on to, because otherwise we're just gonna.
And the tripod more than likely has rubber feet on it. However, what would happen, I was trying to kind of replicate over here, but I don't have anything quite rubbery enough. But it'll actually do the little hopping skip motion instead of just sliding, it'd be like as it kind of slides down. And since it's a tripod, it's wobbling. Yeah. So all three legs are literally kind of doing this as it vibrates and kind of is thrown off balance. However, not to be that, like I said earlier in the podcast, these guys honestly were not given the proper tools to do their job. These guys, I know they're highly trained, but it's not like prior to a lot of tier 1 guy deployments. It's not like they have access to the AMU, Army Marksmanship Unit, where they can call them up and be like, hey, I need 4 of these custom rifles built for this specific operation. They don't, that's not quite how this works. They're more than likely going to be given whatever whatever their team lead or whoever is over them, what they think they need for this situation. And this was not it. Like Zach said, these guys needed some mats or something to just keep that from happening. But at the same time, the
additional measures. Because this isn't the best spot anyways. This is the only elevation point they just had next to them. But if you can't get your first line of sight, identification is your best one, because that gives everybody the heads up. That's why 9 times out of 10 we have assassination attempts. Shots aren't even fired because you got so many different teams like this that are positioned correctly. They're seeing something happen before any of us even have an idea on the camera. So and that usually gets called out or it's dropped before it becomes a threat. It's within those that foundation of work where they're like, hey, this is now danger close. That guy has something in his hand that is identifiable to a weapon. I have permission to shoot. I'm going to do it. I don't think they could see the guy well enough in this, and they're matched with elevation with them, and these are the only guys that have that elevation. They are the only 2 that are seeing over. Everybody else is on the ground. So it was just a shit scenario, and why people were saying the rooftop where the shooter was should have been a secondary access point anyways, because that also would be, they wouldn't be aimed at each other directly, they would be offset, so they would allow for, what is that called? Overlapping sectors of
overlapping
fire,
sectors.
A kill box.
And we'll like you said, you put it in our Instagram chat. As far as dead zones go, we'll get into that in just a second. But this never should have happened. I think virtually everyone can agree on that. And so many little minor mistakes added up to it. We'll watch one more time. Homie's bill of his hat hitting his rifle. You should be so familiar with your rifle and setup that never happens. And he flinched so hard getting back down his rifle when the shot fired. He smashed his rifle. It's hard to judge other people. Like I said earlier, you're not quite in their shoes. But someone that should be so highly trained, they're on a different level. The U.S. government continues to brag about how good the Secret Service is, how well they're trained, and throughout this entire event, you can over and over see minor. In some cases, it can be minor things that all led up to this major catastrophe. And you'll see, whether it was him hitting the bill of his hat on his scope. That's not something that I would say is he should be fired over by any means. but that's a training deficiency. Like we talk about on this podcast all the time, train and high, make it as high stress as possible in some cases. You know, that's a type of training you should do. Then we have guy on the right literally ducking for cover when his sole job is to be identifying and engaging the threat. And he sets his rifle down, takes all hands off of his weapon, and lays down. Like, if you're prior military, if you're, you know, in any kind of active protection role, there in none of your training manuals or books or anything that's ever been written does it say put your weapon down. Like, even if you're engaging it, like you talk about like taking cover and engaging the enemy, or depending on what the situation, maybe you should do one before the other. Nowhere does it say when you take cover you set your weapon on the ground. Yep. Like, that's not how that works. There's also a video of while Trump getting kind of escorted, I guess you could say, into the Tahoe or whatever his Escalade, whatever it is, to get off the premises. There's a chick, I'll see if I can find the video in a minute. She, like, her weapon's holstered. She's like protecting him. I think she's actually the one on the stage hiding behind Trump. Also, there's a picture of a girl literally hiding behind, like crouched down behind everyone else. I believe it's the same girl when she's in the Tahoe. Where? So when Trump's like being put in the car, she has her gun or whatever in the holster. It's holstered, and she's standing here like this, like looking around, and then she goes, "Oh." And it's like literally, it looks like a Skyrim, like, or like a Tony Hawk's like choose your character screen where they're just like,
wait, what was that?
Yeah. And then literally after like 30 seconds goes by of her like doing this, she goes, she completely misses her holster like a half dozen times. And her fingers like almost like squeezing the trigger. Like, she keeps doing this. And then finally she realizes, like, oh, I can't get my gun holstered.
Bro, you know,
and so she just does this again. And then finally, after another like 15 seconds goes by, she's like, and like sticks it, like actually gets it in the holster.
You know how extremely comical it would have been that someone would have claimed shots fired again, but she ND'd because
she ND'd into the ground.
Yeah.
Like, Trump's half in the thing, and the Secret Service is like,
they start
bang, bang.
They hear the shot. They start panicking. They start mag dumping like the rooftop again or something like that, like thinking he's still up.
Like,
you circles yourself in the fucking leg.
She gets team killed because she NDs it.
Second shooter.
They're among us.
Sir, there's a second shooter.
Get down.
Like, the comical. Oh, and then there's, in that same exact moment, in the same frame, you can see a I don't know who he is. He may have been part of the CAT team, because he was in full multicam and had what appear to actually be RNVGs on his helmet. Full kit multicam, homie. He's like standing at the front of the escalator, the escort out vehicle, the exfil, whatever you want to call it. And he's like standing there, like watching, like, you know, like mid-ready position, kind of low, you know, somewhere in here, like what's going on. He has a rifle. I'm just simulating with this. And then he kind of looks up and he puts his rifle like this and kind of rests it on his arm, and it's pointing exactly at Trump's head. I was like, we're watching this right after it happened, and it like plays the whole clip. I was like, what is that?
It's the, you know, DiCaprio of like, hey.
Yeah. I just explained that whole thing and everyone couldn't see me. All right, hold on. We have to reenact it real quick. So, a lady kept missing her holster. No, the audience couldn't see. I had y'all. Yeah, she like keeps missing her holster, and it was just ridiculous. All right, reenact that. And then so let's see if we can just find the video so I don't have to reenact it.
That'd be best.
Yeah, that whole time they were just staring at that same YouTube video.
You could probably do rushed to his convoy. That'd probably be.
Oh wait, maybe it is in that same. Is it in the same video?
No,
See,
they're showing the guy that got fucking bodied, unfortunately.
Yeah. Oh yeah, hold on. Here's the guy dead, by the way, guys. He's chilling up there with the demo ranch shirt on. All right.
And shorts, mind you.
Yeah, tan cargo shorts and a demo ranch t-shirt.
Slumped at the storage place.
Like, I wish they, like, yesterday everyone was just playing like the video on repeat, like the whole 5-minute clip of them like getting him into the vehicle and everything. So 1.5 minute video, it's not gonna have it. It's like a montage of all of his pictures. Asmund Gold's already done a breakdown on it. How long is this video?
Oh, that's a little bit old. That chart.
30. Like, I'm looking for like something like 4 minutes long or something in there.
You're probably not going to.
Like, they played this video on like repeat all day yesterday. Um, 2 minutes, 10 minutes. Here's a 10-minute video.
America
is like a
is reeling.
Wait, what is this?
Behind our
What is this? I just like scrolled, like scrubbed through this video.
That's probably the BB News guy, their BBC News actual guy. Blowing me to please, we've been fucking sure that.
Hold on.
We're trying to stay down.
Like, I scrubbed through the video, and this is what I get
waiting
to.
See if things have cleared, and we're just, as you can see, we're on the ground behind our car, which is not ideal, but that's the shelter we have at the moment, and that's what we're.
What's he saying? Because we can't hear.
Oh wait, y'all can't hear that?
That's what we're trying to.
Yeah, no, I haven't been able to hear any of the audio.
Oh,
yeah, me either.
That's interesting. You should be. Oh well, the audience can hear it, so that's mostly what matters.
Yeah.
Because, hold on, where's the captions? We'll caption it.
From afraid for our own safety.
We're just waiting to see if things have cleared.
We're just waiting to see if things have
as
cleared.
you can see, we're on the.
Everybody's moving around already. They're getting off. Like they're like, oh man, this was whack.
He said we're on the ground behind our cars. It's not ideal.
To ascertain what's happened.
As people stream.
It's been 30 minutes. We don't know if there's still a gunman.
Is he British? Video. Yeah, he's very British.
Yeah.
Oi, mate.
Like, we appear to be hiding behind a vehicle. It's not ideal. A little bit of nasally in there.
They say there was just one shooter, but we don't know for sure.
Sir, they've hit the second. Like, where's the dude? I watched the news play this video, like the clip on repeat. I saw it 50 times, and y'all can't just like post it online,
Just
please.
type in instead of Trump shot. Type in Trump rushed, and then to vehicle, I guess.
To vehicle. Trump rushed off stage. That was probably.
This is a 4-minute.
Yeah, this looks like it. I told you it was 4-minute.
Exactly.
Oh, all right. Here we go. So this girl in the wait, we need the people in the audience. Oh, the people in the audience are watching it. All right. So this girl in the back, right here. My mouse is over her. What?
Yep, with the glasses. Yep.
This girl looks terrified for her life. First of all, she's standing there.
Now.
She just got her gun out.
Oh,
amazing!
Where is it, brother?
I can't get it.
She tries for like 3 seconds to get it in. Oh, and then so look at the guy with the I think those are RNVGs in the back. In the multicam. It might cut before he does it, but watch his barrel. There it is.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's actually pointed at the vehicle. I think it's pointed past the vehicle. It's just from our perception because he's off a bit.
Okay, maybe. But what's he pointing at?
Off the corner of it.
He's covering probably an open sector, just in case.
I guess it's possible. Okay. To me, it literally looks like he's pointing it straight through their windshield, like at Trump's head.
No, he's off to the front left of the vehicle. You can see the hood between him and the camera a little bit.
Oh, yeah, you're right. He's standing more in the driver corner. Okay. Y'all are right. Yeah, I saw that and I was like, but why though? But now it makes sense. He's covering the other side.
However, when it comes to her, we obviously could still tear her apart because we have all of the eyes on this lady. So this
she looks terrified. Like, absolutely terrified.
Prime example of when Mojo says it too. Check your holster. It literally, if you're reholstering, you have already identified you cannot either engage the threat or you have no threat. Why are you rushing to reholster, especially if you can't see it? Like, you're literally going to keep doing this. And for the time that you're doing this and not checking it, freaking out, you could just do, check. All right, I don't have brass in it. Holster.
Yeah.
And if you have to get your primary back up, you can. It is not that big of a deal. I am so tired of people saying, well, that's how you die. No. Okay, me taking my eyes off of... If I still have a threat up, first of all, this is what's going to kill me anyways, regardless if I'm doing it, looking at them, staring them down is not going to make them not shoot me, okay? Yeah. But if, for whatever reason, this needs to go away, I can check it and I can get it back up. I can do it in 2 seconds, dude. I can do a 1, 2... check.
And like, if this was an organized like thing, like let's just hypothetically say there were 2 shooters. There were not. I mean, at least that shot.
Almost. There was almost 2 shooters.
Yeah, there were almost 2 shooters. Like, there very well could have been another shooter in the crowd. Like, if they knew, if this was like pre-planned, like properly with a team, and they knew this is where his exfil vehicle could be located, they very well could have gotten a second shooter up front here. And that is a perfectly viable reason for her to have her weapon out facing the crowd. Because they have like the internal circle kind of, hold on, I'll go back to me. They have like, you know, Trump in the middle, and then they have everyone facing in, protecting him, like literally doing like a football huddle around him to make sure that if other shots are fired at him, they're literal meat shields. And then they have 2 other people you can see. We'll switch back to the video. They have 2 other people, specifically 2, rotated out. They have the 2 girls rotated out towards the crowd as coverage. That is a perfect viable reason for you to have your weapon out, because you need to be facing the potential threat that is an unknown. Still, this situation, like just because the shooter the initial shooter was eliminated does not mean there's not a second. And you need to be scanning, watching the exterior.
And it's worth noting, too, you still have your 2 cat guys, too. They're also huddled up.
Yes.
And they're in low ready. So, I mean, it's a quick swap up of, like, just at shoulder. Yeah. So if there was a threat, that's like, you're dead.
Yes.
And they're so both backing up. They're kind of checking their shoulder to make sure they got spacing on whoever's next to them, because you don't want to...
You can literally see him look over his shoulder there, check to make sure he's good. He continues to just kind of keep doing, like, that quick left shoulder check, saying, hey, where's my team? Are they still good? You know, or is progress still happening? And so it's perfectly viable. And then you have, like y'all said, multicam. I assume he's also a cat guy, but that's not.
No,
I don't know for sure.
He'd be with them. I think what it is usually local sheriff's departments offer SWAT teams up for the like security additionally, and that's why he's running multicam or OD Green. I think he's local state.
But he goes up on the stage with them.
Yeah, I know. Because he's still part of the detail. It's just he's lended to them by the city, whoever gives them their team, their SWAT teams. And the only reason I know this is because what's his fucking name from Orion Training Group? Not Jared, but the other guy. He did SWAT for a long time. He's done stuff with Trump's SS teams because they have their own group of people, but they also offer the actual city's protection wherever they're at. And that's usually the outer cordon. So then the inner cordon can work more functionally as the SS guys. But with how small of a situation they kind of had here, I think they had to bring that outer cordon inward to try to, sum up what they had. And that's why you have the multicam guys running around. I think it's local authorities.
Okay. Well, that's a fair assessment, and that makes perfectly logical sense.
Because there's only so many of them. There's only it's that one guy that's been in this area, and I think you can see 2 or 3 others on the opposite side of the stage that are working together. But he was the only one I think that stuck with the group. It doesn't make sense to have one of your guys in multicam.
No, I was wrong. The guy standing at the front left of the vehicle did not go on stage with them. It was this other multicam guy here that rotated. background.
So I think those are local authorities, probably the local SWAT team. So they help aid in.
Okay, that makes sense. Oh, did we lose Ian?
Ian, big bye.
They got him. they got him. Okay, that makes perfect sense. But yeah, needless to say that the chick, if she was going to have her gun unholstered, I think that's perfectly viable in this situation. She should have never tried to reholster it if she chose to have it out. It's not like she was actively getting in the vehicle.
Exactly, it is a switch.
It makes a difference too. So let's hypothetically say you have your gun belt on. Let's go back to us. I don't have. Where is?
Well, in your case, your gun belt is also offset, so you're more likely to get that. Hers
yes, that's what I'm getting at.
Almost.
So let's.
That's why I would prefer appendix, because I can actually. Oh, look.
Oh, here.
It's clear.
So we'll throw a gun belt on real quick here.
Make sure you also select that you're viewing yourself so the audience can see you.
Yes, yeah, I already fixed that. So here's my gun belt, and where's my gun for the belt? So I'm not 100% sure which or what gun she is using. I did not zoom in, and quite frankly, for this demonstration, it does not matter. So it's a bit different when you're using a gun belt, and a lot of people that will kind of argue against, trying to holster things like that will be used to a gun belt, but it's a bit different when she's wearing a suit. So like, I can easily draw without looking, pull up. I'll give this some rigidity here. So I can pretty easily draw up and then go back down. Boom. And even then, I'm still, like, it's not going to be perfect. Like, I'm kind of having to shove it in a little bit. But I have a little bit of that muscle memory built. That was also a completely cold start. But what she's trying to do is pull her suit away, and also a holster that is much closer to her body, that it seems to also be contoured to her body, trying to reholster. So she's kind of like doing this all at the same time. There's no realistic way that you can do that without sitting and just saying, okay, in. With a gun belt, it's much easier, and I'm still struggling to get it in every time.
Yep. Always check. The entire purpose to reholstering is because you have identified there is either no more threats, there is no current threat. It is consistently in the logic. You need to be now identifying your equipment. Okay, you're not going to just try to put a frag back into a pouch if you can't really fucking see it. Like, I mean, that's just crazy. Everyone's going to look. You're going to glance. And it's better that way, because the time that you dedicate to just doing it the right way, the one time, you have better odds than fumbling the freaking gun into the holster and still dying, okay?
Yep. If the threat is so apparent where you feel like you can't just go whoop, then you probably shouldn't be reholstering. You could even make that
up anyways.
Yes. You could even make that that argument, for example, if you are trying to clear malfunction. So, if you're trying to do have your gun up while your secondary up while you're checking your primary for what the malfunction is. You're glancing down, and then you could even make the argument that you still should keep your secondary up if there's like a threat standing in front of you. Like, you shouldn't be like, oh, I can get this online fast enough. Holster, do that again. Just you keep it up. If there's an immediate threat, you're not going to try to clear this. You're going to drop it and keep up. That goes the same way for holstering your weapon. If there's an immediate threat that you need to potentially engage, then you should not be disengaging your weapon.
Yep. I'm here to tell you right now, if you're dedicating to, like, let's say a room, okay, like whether you're second or first man and you're dedicating now, you're moving, there is no, oh, my gun's actually now jammed, I'm bailing. No, it's, if this weapon is not working, I am going to this, okay?
Yeah.
And you're going to dedicate with this. It'd be no different than if I only had this, and if this was to lock up, like, you're still going to you're going to do whatever you can. I mean, in that case, worst case, but I mean, you're not going to go to try to reholster that then, or whatever, like, it's just, it's inconsistent logic.
Yeah. And we're not saying that this girl is like fire her immediately. Like, I've seen multiple posts. Now, there is more stuff. I don't have the video handy. There were some pictures of allegedly showing her hiding. I'm using that word a bit loosely. I don't know what else her job would be back there. Literally standing behind
the relay for that particular shit. Her goal purpose could have been relay for Trump.
Possibly.
Like, hey, Escalade is ready. We're moving them now. And she's going, okay, we're moving.
Yes, that is possible, and I guess that's why I'm kind of saying allegedly, because it could even be her voice saying, you can hear in the hot mic, shoot her down. That very well could have been her, and her job was not to stand and protect Trump from the front as a meat shield, but to relay information to those doing so. It's possible. So I'm not saying that she should be fired, but definitely this all needs to go into an investigation. Like, they don't just need to do an external investigation on the shooter. They need to do an investigation and an audit specifically on their teams and training. Because exactly. Because we have two major specific or training specific, you could even argue three major training specific incidents that should not have happened. Ball cap, counter sniper homie hitting it on his gun, knocking his tripod over. It didn't knock it over, but knocking his weapon off of what he was aimed at. And then you can also argue that for the counter sniper that laid down, training in a more high stress environment and just ingraining, you do not flinch, you do not move, you find and engage the target. That is your job. You do not take cover when taking contact as a counter sniper. And then lastly, homegirl could not get her weapon back in the holster. And by no means am I saying we're perfect. We have varying experience levels, and none of us here have operated on that level of professionalism. I personally have done some security, some not necessarily high value security, but some security work similar, but nothing on this level. Personal protection, PSD. I couldn't think of the word. But those are training deficiencies that must be worked out. There are a lot of like memes going around. This is why women shouldn't be in the Secret Service or in combat roles. I disagree with that entirely. If anything, looking back through history, that can continually be proven false. Going back thousands of years, there were women fighters that were far surpassing their men counterparts. Even as recent in Ukraine, the past 2 years. Some of the deadliest snipers in Ukrainian history have been women. That's very, I would say, sexist to say, hey, there shouldn't be any women in the military or in combat roles or in Secret Service. This is why. One of us could have also made that mistake. So any of the other people could have also. It's a training deficiency. And some people aren't cut out for it. I personally served in Ukraine. I won't use names. With a former, I believe he was an infantryman, and one of the very first times we took indirect fire, the dude crumbled, just out of pure fear and panic. It happens. It some people just are not cut for it. Not everyone. I would probably argue that you could give someone years of training, and something they're just not wired for it. Men and women alike. There's women, like I said, out there that are absolutely wired for it. They're just cold, hard killers. There's also men that are, the same way. And there's also men and women alike that no matter how much you train, how much you do your best to ingrain, hey, this is the standard. This is what you do when you take contact. You really never know how someone's going to react until they do it. And that's just one of the situations. But that is a training and a vetting deficiency. I guess I should have went into a little more detail and said it's not just a training. I would also say it's a vetting or a mental, psychological character thing. But for example, the guy, hiding behind the roof. But, training and vetting deficiencies that must be resolved in order for the Secret Service to actually try to salvage their name as the premier personal security detail in the world. It's unacceptable. This should have never happened. And let's go ahead and also let's see if I can find the video. Ooh, wrong thing. See if I can find the video of service escape. Blah 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 blah. Of the is this? There's literally a video of basically the guy saying, I don't see it at the moment. Anyway, there's an interview and there's videos of the guy crawling around on the roof, and they're basically saying, hey, there's a guy with a gun up there. There's a guy with a gun, like we said, and the cop goes up there, interacts with him. Like, the cop, I'm not saying the cop shouldn't have gone up there to interact with him, but that should have been, like, so far up, high on the chain of command priority list of, hey, there's a guy with a gun up there. You know, even if there isn't, even if it's just a bystander saying, hey, there's a guy with a gun, and there's, like, in the interview, the guy explains that there were multiple bystanders yelling and pointing, there's a guy with a gun. That should have immediately gone to, like, the highest, you know, security threat level. However they measure that, you know,
yeah,
I don't know how that's
he's like
measured.
100 yards out. Like, that's still within, like, what I would consider an outer cordon range.
Yeah.
So once that's now collapsed, hey, we have a threat within outer cordon, and if you don't have eyes on, that inner cordon now is activated, and they're moving them off the stage. That's what it should have been. Like, gun, out. We're fucking moving. We are in that fucking Cadillac, and we are rushing.
Mm-hmm. And I spoke with someone yesterday. They were like, well, you know, maybe they didn't know he was a threat, or one of the bigger things, maybe they didn't want to make the crowd scared, you know, and go into a mass panic, which that's actually valid to an extent. However, there's ways for someone to walk up onto the stage and say, hey, we need you to step down for a minute. Hey, like the specifically the suit.
A second plane just hit the 7-Eleven.
Exactly. Like, there's ways for the suits to walk up on stage and be like, you know, cut the mic, no hot mic, and say, hey, sir, we need you to step down for a second. Here, walk with us.
Yep, it's true.
That would have resolved it instantly. Because according to the bystander in the interview, there was a more than a handful bystanders yelling and pointing. Hey, we're watching him go up to the roof, climb the ladder on the roof with a gun. He's on the roof with a gun. And to put that time frame into perspective, it was so much time from the time that they said something or started warning the police were actually able to get to the building and up the ladder, which is minutes at that point. Like, the dude, I mean, we're talking a minimum of 30 seconds to like 4 minutes of the police establishing, hey, this is what we're going to do, and the cop going to do it and getting up on the roof. That something as simple as the suits going up on stage, pulling him down for a few minutes until the threat was neutralized, whole areas rescanned, you know, hey, there's no other threats, or even just saying, hey, I'm sorry, guys, that's it for today. I don't think Trump would have done that. I don't see a world where he would have actually been like, hey, yeah, I'm going to back down from this. Exactly. The fist in the air proves that. But, you know, even if he just walked off the stage for a minute, that would have completely solved might be a bit of a stretch of the word, mitigated the situation and would have stopped it from happening, at least in the capacity that it did.
Yep.
Once again, we talked about here, let's watch that Instagram video you sent me. Is it fine if I show that? Is that anyone we know? No, it's not.
Yeah, I follow these guys. These guys are good friends with Core Vision Training. Core Vision's out of Florida, so actually it means that Ian will be able to take us to a class or something with them. I would love to, because Kyle from them is a really cool dude. A lot of these guys come from soft backgrounds, some special force. I don't know if any of them have particular asset protection detail, although I know special forces will sometimes roll with the SEALs that do asset protection for senators. So
can you break this down real quick? I'm gonna get some water.
Yeah. He can't scroll through it, but basically what you're seeing on his screen currently is right off of the barrel of one of the sniper's positions. It's not the exact setup. I think these guys are here the day before, helping set up with sight lines and break down their boat plan for reaction to a threat. They have identified that, hey, that is a potential risk area, because it's like the only other elevated spot they could even shoot towards that direction at, towards the receiving end of Trump. So this is pretty much the picture of them breaking this down. You have your closer rooftop, you have your further one, and you can barely see the red square. Within that red square, there is a green dot. That green dot is the exact size of the head. Essentially, they would be seeing with just basic eyeballs of the guys that was a threat shooter. You can go
That's
into the next
right
picture.
here, if y'all can see my mouse. Okay, it zooms in perfect.
That's zoomed in, yes. So that is pretty much all they would be able to have seen with bare naked eye. And obviously, and this is zoomed in, but that's exactly where the guy was located at. And so that's without the highlight either. But if you also go back, the second guy that was our commo guy, by the way, I was going to say to the other picture.
Sorry. This one?
Yeah. Well, hold on. One more over, I guess, maybe.
There's only 3 pictures.
Yeah, maybe not then. But this is the left-handed guy, I think, Spot, technically. The guy that was to the right of him, that telephone pole would have been blocking his vision, I think, of that threat perfectly. So that's why our guy that had combos probably also could not. He was trying to understand what the other guy was seeing when he couldn't see it himself because of that telephone pole. And again, this normally is not a situational issue they run into because these guys will have multiple teams on overlapping sectors. And
there were 4 counter sniper teams.
Where are the other ones at? In the trees?
I don't know. They were specifically allotted 4 counter sniping teams for this venue.
But those guys had to be grounded. Maybe they were in some of the technicals that were on the property.
Possibly.
That would have been a good spot too.
Yeah, they could have been scattered around. I don't know. To my understanding, where they were has not been released.
The only position other than where that shooter was that was elevated amongst the spots. So that's why these guys were at an extreme disadvantage. And like I said, the one guy that did have comms, that telephone pole may have been blocking his actual eyes on target. So he's trying to now understand, this guy's calling something. I'm hearing chatter maybe. Like, what the fuck are you seeing? I have to try to relay it. There's a guy on a rooftop. Okay, potentially 150, 200 meters away. Obviously, I guess it's self-explanatory. The only other buildings across from us. But then by that point still, too, he's trying to determine if this guy has the shot. And now he's got to relay, hey, we have a shot, ask permission to fire. By that point, all of this delay that we've built up to, we've already gone over, our guy could have already been shooting. And then now it's, okay, I'm taking cover, I'm hearing shots, which obviously we probably shouldn't be doing, but, that's when they got on target after that, I think. And that one guy fucking took him out, the left shooter. So,
so from my understanding, hold on, we'll wrap back around to that in a second. What's also interesting too is typically for things like this, maybe not in this scenario, maybe only for more urban stuff. Typically, what we would do is we would number those buildings, beforehand. You would have a building card, or some kind of layout map card. And you would be contact on building 4 roof.
Yep.
You should automatically know. You should this isn't Call of Duty where or even we'll play Arma or Tarkov or something. And you're not
by the rock 300 meters away.
Well, in the mountain range.
In video games, you even have pretty good call outs. In Tarkov, everyone knows what what elbow is. At least in my team or whoever you play with or. You have call-outs for stuff, and you'd be like, oh, call it an elbow. We know what that is. We play together a lot. Yep. We're there. But, a lot of times, you might not have a building call-out. You're the gray 5-story building with the yellow roof. And you're oh, no, that one's a blue roof. That one's red. Oh, wait, there it is. Bang, dead. Meanwhile, these guys, this is a pre-scouted, obviously, pre-planned
especially
venue that I would imagine and I would assume that, or at least they should have had some kind of building map card where at any time throughout, whether they're bored or whatever, they can sit there and look and be oh, building 4, that's that one. Building 3, that one. Building 17, oh, that's that one. You shouldn't have to, it's not they should have to be sitting there with their compass and map and be bearing 275, 125 meters. Oh, that's that building. Sets compass down, gets on rifle. This should all be ingrained.
and just so people understand, this is something that is effectively across like military branches. Okay,
Mhm.
MARSOC did this going into Afghani villages well ahead of a raid at night. They had buildings broken down because what you do with this is it goes in your 9 line if anything goes wrong. Okay,
Yes.
so if you specifically state, you can't just be like, hey, I got 6 guys that are shot in one of the buildings, approximately in this grid. A grid's a huge fucking spot. Okay, but if you say, hey, we have 6 casualties. Very bad. In building 6 specifically, that's not only relaying to the team of all your, adjacent sentries or whatever, however you have set up. Now they're getting that info of, okay, building 6 has casualties. They're here. We're here. It's also relaying in that 9 line of, okay, this is where they are exactly. They need to get to this for the evac. It's a much easier way to just get bullshit out of the way, and it gets it all. It doesn't just sugarcoat. It gets it all out. There's no questions after the fact. It eliminates it, and that's the point. You are over-targeting your information, so that way no one asks the fucking question of, okay, but specifically what? It eliminates it, and that's what these teams are supposed to already have too. Is hey, target or possible threat, building 3, 250 meters from my position. And these guys also normally, when they have these building breakdowns for these sniper positions, they have their range sets already too for each building. So if it's immediate life or
it's
death,
all built into your range card and map card.
They're already on that elevation. They are already dialed in. That way, as soon as they call threat and you're cleared to engage, they flick that safety and they already got you fucking zeroed and bang.
Yeah. And we also know this was released that not only at this venue, there were 4 counter sniping teams. They also had active drones in the air, as well as, from my understanding, 1 to 2 helicopters. So in the heat of the moment, it's very difficult. As I was also a drone operator, I flew drones. It was very difficult to even call in a target from a drone because you have a completely different perspective. Yep. From a drone view, you might not know that the building's yellow. All you see is the white roof. So that makes the exactly. So. Which is even more important to have a map card. Like, as a drone operator, if you're sitting there 100 meters up in the air, you should very easily be able to say, hey, I have something going. There's some, I don't know what it is. I can't zoom in enough. I have a thermal signature or whatever of a subject moved onto a roof on building 3. There should be no reason and no possibility for miscommunication there unless you're confused what building 3 is. But that goes back to these, like, for example, you said this, these pictures were taken the day before from your standing of the venue, which it is kind of a mess. So this may have been taken after the venue. However, that's kind of beside the point. They were out there days prior to this, scouting this and analyzing the exact potential avenues of a threat. And they would have had a map card, should have at least, had a map card of some sort already printed out, already laminated, whether it's like on your forearm, like a lot of times the technically it'd be here, like a lot of the DMR guys will keep their range card or map card in your like forearm here, like on a like how like football quarterbacks keep their play cards. And so or an iPad, we would have iPads sometimes too. Like a lot of times they would already have that already. And so there was no avenue for miscommunication. It would be memorized, and they would have it there in front of them. So they always knew.
Because if you assume shit, assumptions can get you fucking killed, or they kill the wrong person.
Yep. So yeah. Let's basically this kind of breaks down to
so this just to re-reference, this page reshared it or reposted. Artie Sims, if I'm not mistaken,
got it.
Yeah, he does the longer range stuff for Core Vision training down in Florida, if I'm not mistaken. And he does have a background doing this stuff, so it's not just someone of like, oh yeah, I did some sniping for the Army or the Marine Corps. This is my output. It is. I think this guy actually did do asset detail. As a sniper or a counter sniper. So he has at least some insight as to why the situation may have done the way it did. But, there's always going to be like a million things that could come out between now and then that we're like, but why? Like, why did that happen? Why was that a problem?
And it's easier for us to say it in hindsight, like, oh, they should have done better. but we're not trying to just say, hey, they should have done better. These guys suck. The libtards, or whatever. This was a planned conspiracy. What we're trying to do is logically and with our prior experience and training break this down and explain what could have helped prevent this, or what it could have mitigated this, and ultimately what went wrong. So, yeah. I think a lot of this could have been resolved with better communication. There's so many just minor things. Well, better communication, better training. There's so many minor things here that added up to a big catastrophe. And yes.
So I was going to say, as a heads up, so one of the guys from my other server, he was on ATAC, like chalking this up like hours after it happened. That same water tower right there, he was like, what if the guy was in that? That was like an 800-meter shot, but still, what if he's up there and he's plinking at whatever the silhouette was down on the ground? That was Trump. So he was guessing that the water tower was the spot. Turned out it wasn't, obviously, because we got the rooftop guy. But someone or bystanders were saying that there was someone on the water tower. I'm wondering if that's where one of the other snipers was now.
One of the counter sniper teams.
Because you said there was apparently 4 acclimated teams. That's that's the other high ground. You just have distance, and distance means time.
Once again, I have not been to this revenue. Actually, I haven't said that. I haven't been to this revenue. What is it called?
What are you trying to say?
Venue. I haven't been to this venue. But like we said, we knew that there was 4 counter sniper teams. If I were setting this up, I have not seen all the sat imagery, but just something as simple from seeing the videos I've seen, like that water tower where they currently are, and maybe something like this building in the back here. Because as we now know, this building is approximately the exact same elevation as where the shooter was. And there also would have been a team on the slightly higher elevated building. Now, what I do know is this private property or private business that they did not have maybe direct access to, but I'm sure, the pre-planning that goes into this months in advance, I'm sure they could have had access to it if they would have asked nicely. And once again, like Zach was just saying up in the water tower, I was just saying, Zach, if I would have kind of done this, not to be like, oh, I would have done it differently, to include the counter sniper team that this picture is taken from, his position, his FPV. We also have theorized that there was one up in the water tower because there have been videos or pictures showing someone up there. But also, allegedly. Also, this other building here, because we know that this building is roughly the same elevation as the one this counter sniper team is at. Also, this other 2 or 3 story building. Like, you can't just, and maybe there were, they had, better vantage points and they just missed it. I don't know. But if they would have just simply kind of had overlapping sectors of fire and been properly watching, they had the drones. We know that. That was in the, I think that was an FBI press release that they had drones up. If all of that could have come together more coherently, and maybe it was a lapse between departments, maybe the local police department had the drones up, and they didn't have a direct line to the Secret Service team, and this was being relayed through 14 different radio operators, ROs. I don't know. But if this could have been more tightly integrated and been all more coherent, this could have been avoided.
Yep.
We've kind of beat the dead horse at this point. Switch back to us here. So to recap, we have some new viewers. Since we kind of talked about it, obviously Trump was shot earlier, and essentially we're just trying to break down what happened, what went wrong, what couldn't be improved next time.
Oh, yeah. I was going to mention, too. So regardless what we know if the guy used, allegedly someone was able to get a picture of him, and there's like a bullet hole in like his jacket or something like that. But because he had soft body, it obviously stopped it. And that was also alleged.
Who?
Because I don't know.
Trump?
Oh,
Trump.
Yeah. Allegedly, there was a hole like right here, like right underneath his breast.
Interesting.
I don't know in what shot. I saw a picture, and there was like a hole here.
We don't actually know if he got shot on the first or second shot either. That's not technically clear.
Yeah, but someone was able to actually grab the bullet in midair, and so people are actually trying to see if they can find out what the twist rate and shit was, so we can actually see if that was a 5.56 or what have you.
That's awesome. I love technology. Yeah, we don't technically know if he got shot on the first or second shot. Once again, the audio, loud sounds, venues, big objects, stuff like that. It messes with audio stuff. Is it is that the weapon firing and then the supersonic, the shockwave? Is it the shot and an echo? It's kind of hard to break all this down specifically. And it also is assuming that there's no latency between the audio and video and things like that. So it does make it a bit more difficult. But where is the video again that I have? Here it is. So we'll watch the video one more time here and
ironically though, you're fired. Like,
yeah, I know. I every time I see it, I laugh. That was like my first Instagram post, for better or for worse, of this is the irony. All right, so quick recap going into this. The first shot happens at approximately, almost exactly, 8 seconds into this video. There are 6 to 8 shots fired, we believe. And then there's another shot at 23 seconds in the video, which we believe to be the counter sniper team eliminating the threat.
Yeah. And now theoretically, the counter sniper team shot should be a lot louder because we're closer to their source of shot. Plus 300 Win mag.
Oh, that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old, and if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
And that was the last shot recorded, and that would presumably be the counter sniper team taking him down.
Which makes sense too, because it's not even like 2 more seconds we hear shoot her down, shoot her down, shoot her down.
So at 23 seconds we hear stand by. Oh, I skipped it.
Go back further.
There you go. The last shot. Now if we listen. Oh, there's more delay.
Move it there. Hold. When you're ready. On you. Ready. Move. Up. Move. Go. Up. Hawkeye's here. Hawkeye's here. Move it to the stair. Stair, get ready. Stair, get ready. We ready?
Also, this process took too long. Shooters down. Shooters down.
Okay, so how long was that?
I think that's what he said. Hold on. Yeah, shooters down. Yeah, it's repeated several times. And I originally, early in the podcast, said the female SS girl said it first, but it appears that there's actually a guy saying it. Yeah, he repeats it twice. Shooters down, shooters down. She says shooters down, and then it kind of goes back and forth. You can hear a guy kind of shooters down, and then she repeats shooters down. Shooters down, are we good to move? Shooters down, good to move. So that's kind of a lot of times how you'll hear something like that play out. There's always going to be, not always, but ideally you want some kind of like, confirmation of shooters down, shooters down, shooters down. Like, That's kind of like what that would sound like. Think of it as like a two-way handshake. Is what you would call it, like the tech kind of world. You want to verify that what you're hearing is correct and that you didn't hear something incorrectly.
Yep. Not to mention, it's always, in that circumstance, it's always good to beat a dead horse by repeating.
Yeah, you can't say shooters down really too much. Like,
because adrenaline's pumping. These guys are it went for them. They're ready to go, and so they're freaking out, and your auditory, visual, everything is going wacky. So if you hear it like 3 times, it may not register the same the first time as it finally does the third time, where shooters down, shooters down, shooters down. Okay, all right, cool, we're moving, let's go.
Yeah, and he even says shooters down, we're good to move, shooters down. Like it's like you have to be sure of these kind of things. One critique Once again, I have not done PSD in this level of professionalism or high valueness, if that's even a word.
The best thing I did was I played a lot of Arma when we did that. We also did what was it? We called it President in Modern Warfare 2, where we kept them inside the estate house, and you had like 2 assassins with 1-man army, and they would start picking you off, and we'd have the president inside like the bathtub or something with the.
I was the president airsoft one time. Yeah, that's exactly like.
That's all I did. I'm a veteran of that.
Funny story. Quick little tangent, guys. I was talking to one of my buddies the other day. He works in the tech world, specifically for the government tech world, and they were having a team meeting. I don't know exactly how it was relevant. The background wasn't explained, but apparently the team lead was like, or the contract lead or whoever was like, "Hey, who here has military experience?" And the dude literally talks about how like raised his hand and talked about how much Arma he's played and how it applies to real world tactics and military training. So yeah, you can see here, we'll kind of go back a little bit. The initial shots, 3 shots have already been fired. They kind of get up, down on him, but then they actually try to move him quite quickly, which is how that should work. I think. I would think that, because I found it strange that they were trying to move him quickly and then didn't, because you can hear that, once again, the hot mic at the podium, the podium mic is hot, and that's how we're able to hear them talking, because he even talks about like something about check his hair, get ready to move him or something like that right here. The shooter's now dead, presumably. He's like, "Are you ready? On you, move." And nothing happens. I assume they're saying move his hair. I think that's what they're saying, and I assume it's because they're seeing blood on the side of his head and they want to verify. I could be wrong about that, but pretty immediately they're like, "Hey, what?"
I was gonna say, so earlier, remember how you sent that one of the whether it be fake profiles or whatever had faceless tagged in it?
Yeah.
Apparently, the Los Angeles Times actually inquired with him, asking what his relationship was because his profile is mentioned. Faceless quite literally replied in email, "Sorry, Angela, now's not a good time. I'm mourning the loss of a friend."
Based. That's great.
He literally does not care.
We're not really sure though if that's his profile or not. So I was able to do some digging. That profile was created several months ago.
But doesn't that mean that they could just rename it and it's still created several months ago?
Possibly. But
I think the same thing happened with Rosenbaum and other people that were a part of mainstream media bullshit.
Because pretty quick after it happened, I started searching. Like I say, quick, not 5 minutes, but within 2 hours, started kind of digging through Instagram, and there were dozens and dozens of fake profiles. But all of them were like 0 post. All of them were brand new accounts. Blah blah blah. Yeah. And that one specifically kind of stood out to me, because it had like kind of the subtle things I would look for, like the zip, like almost immediately, well, it had a zip code, and then it had like the black flag, and then another prominent gun influencer, and I was like, that's kind of fitting that that somebody that if someone made that account, they had to have like known like that they're in the gun community. They're not just your typical standard internet troll immediately creating the mass shooter accounts. It was someone in the know. So.
Or a really good shitlord.
Yeah, quite possibly. All right. Was there anything else I wanted to share? We've kind of went over all the hot topics here, the training deficiencies and so on. I believe that is all I have. Ian, did you get drone striked?
Yeah, he didn't reply, so I think Obama got him, dude. I think he's dead. Poor kid. He finally moves from Hawaii to Florida, where you think there's more liberty, and they just take you out with a drone anyways. Oh, fuck, dude.
Got him. Yeah, those Florida red flag laws are no joke. Did we show the picture already of... We showed the picture of the shooter dead on the roof. Did we show him wearing the Demolition Ranch shirt? I think we did.
I think people can look it up. I mean,
yeah.
It's everywhere now.
At this point, it's everywhere. We had that
wildfire when they actually confirmed it was him, bodied.
Yeah, like I sent it to Matt from Demolition Ranch. I sent it to like Northern Provisions and a couple other places. And literally within like 10 minutes of me sending it to them, they had already uploaded it. And none of them were even mine either. From me sending it, they never even opened them. So that picture got out pretty quick. But really, I think that's all I have on this subject. The Republican National Committee, is that what it's called?
We call it
the big
RNC.
Yeah, RNC. Republican. Yeah.
He was a registered Republican voter, by the way.
Oh yeah. That's good information.
So that's where I was like, he doesn't scream anarchist because he was registering to vote. So whatever he did to go off the realm of potential drugs or influence from the CIA or whatever it was that happened that could have caused him to just take a fucking milsurp fucking shit AR.
So he did make a
prevalent figure.
Yeah, we have an alleged picture of his gun. Where did we get that from?
Hella
yeah, we'll not show that. We there's no factualness backing it up.
There's no point because it didn't have any optic system, and I fail to think that kid even got remotely 3 MOA on Trump with iron sight.
With irons, especially as quickly as he shot. So apparently the kid donated to Biden's campaign, or at least a Democratic committee, DNC, when he was still unable to vote, when he was still a minor. And then when he was able to vote, he registered as a Republican. I would love to...
My kid's crying.
Yeah, you're good. I would love to hear, him speak about it. And some of the... I really wish he wasn't dead. That sounds interesting to say, but actually get those interviews and see legitimately what has to be said, because currently all we have to go on is speculating his motive. Does he have buddy, does he have a manifesto or whatever, or are we just gonna have to purely speculate off of this for forever? He's so sweet.
Yeah, I know he's big now. He's chonkers.
I know it's been a few weeks since I've seen him.
Yeah, he's a few weeks old, that's for sure.
Giga Chad child. So ultimately, I wish he wasn't dead so we could have those interviews, and obviously that could all be skewed too, but because currently right now the a lot of the Democrats are or not to get political on the podcast, but a lot of the Democrats are like, oh well, we're for peace, and we don't condone any of this, and the Republicans are like, the Democrats did it, brother. Of course it was a plant. Of course they would pick someone as a registered Republican and gave him a Demolition Ranch shirt. It's the deep state.
Yeah, we were literally dropping off books at the library, and a homeless guy literally brought it up of, did they actually shoot him or they just shoot at him? He's like, I'll tell you what, I think it was the Democrats.
Like,
it's a homeless dude with a flip phone. I'm like, man, people be bad shit out here. It's all over my feed. It's so irritating because, I know you said not to get political, but I'm not Democrat or Republican. I'm pretty sure as anybody could fucking throw together by now.
We've been very public on this podcast. We're neither. All of us, I think.
It seems that people who were on the fence are now no longer off the fence simply because this was a failed assassination. And the last time that happened was Reagan. The last time my gun rights were fucking abolished was Reagan. So I'm really Grove. Shut the fuck up. All right, now he's been attempted. My point is if it wasn't for Reagan in the first place, we wouldn't be having the whole fucking bump stock bullshit. Or the SBR,
stop worshiping Ronald Reagan, please.
Yeah, this is Reagan 2.0.
Reagan was the biggest anti-gun politician in the past 40 decades. Not really quite 40 decades, but And then somewhere along the lines, there's also Bill Clinton and Donald Trump. Donald Trump's literally like the top
Bill Clinton
4.
couldn't have done his without Reagan's. That's the
true.
Whole,
Reagan set
had
a
an easier
precedent.
time. Reagan was also a huge corpo shill too, because he allowed for advertisements to be directed at kids for the first time.
And the anti-drug stuff, the war on drugs with his wife Nancy. What did I put yesterday in our group chat? I literally copied and pasted this and sent to somebody else because I laughed so hard at my own jokes. Hold on.
Okay, Bubba. I gotta get him a pass soon, so I gotta head out.
Yeah, we're done here. But basically, I said something along the lines of, I can see it now. Trump's like press release. The last person to be shot was Reagan. He was a great president, a great guy. But I'm just as good, and now I've been shot.
Yeah, I know, dude. Like,
martyr for America, brother.
To be fair, the guy that attempted to kill Reagan is now out of prison on good behavior, and he makes music. He makes folk music. So he was also just very. He admits he was really mentally messed up and stuff, and that's kind of what more so pushed him in the direction. But can't have that conversation with a new kid because apparently Demo Ranch doesn't teach you good accuracy. So
got him.
Yikes.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to wrap up for the night. Thank you so much for watching. This was a bit of a scatterbrained episode, despite us only having one topic. We bounced around a bit, but I don't think we're going to have one. Oh, no, I think we'll have one next week. We'll see. We'll be sure to update Instagram and the website for that. But thanks for tuning in. We have a whole backlog of previous episodes of Ukraine information and current events and things like that. A lot of you guys, I think this is your first time viewing, so thank you so much. Remember, like we talked about in the podcast, so much of this could have been resolved through better communication and training. So be sure to get out there, train, put yourself through the paces, push yourself, and really become a better shooter, a better tactician, and learn to, not to be cliche, but shoot, move, and communicate. So thank you guys so much. Hopefully we'll see you guys next week, and have a good week and stay frosty.